What's up guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel where I talk about why I don't have time to make YouTube videos for about 10 minutes and make graphs about it. I realize it's been a very long time since I've made a video. I do have some good reasons for that. Number one is, I did start a new role or promotion or whatever you want to call it. So that's exciting. So obviously with that promotion, I spent a lot of time the last couple of weeks just kind of getting trained up. And that's just been very exhausting starting that new role. The eBay store has continued to kill it, although I haven't had as much time to work on finding more products out there to sell online. What else has happened? I don't remember what else. Oh yeah, I did fall off my bike. Yeah, I fell off my bike and I had to go to the ER, but good news is this isn't broken, so I think it's time to get rid of that. Just a bit of a sprain, but yeah, life's been weird. So if this is the first video that you're seeing on my channel, I'm sorry, this is kind of a bit of a weird one. You got some catching up to do. About 6 months ago, I started a series where I started out with $0 and tried to grow that into something with the main goal of really just having fun, learning different things along the way, and challenging myself in ways that I hadn't previously been challenged. We've come a long way. We hit our first goal of $1,000, and the second season is all about going from $1,000 to $10,000. Last episode was supposed to be like a part 1 of 2, and this was supposed to be part 2, but with everything that's happened in my life and what's been thrown at me, I have an idea. So yeah, life's been weird. But here's my idea. I'm gonna open up Premiere. I'm gonna see where we left off on the last episode and the footage that I have. And I guess I'm just gonna have to narrate you through what I was thinking, what was happening at the time. Also, what I need to do is get you caught up to speed on everything that's happened since. So yeah, let's just see where we left off. Now, I've never actually filmed this before, but I've done this bike ride to the post office quite a few times, especially when I have a lot of sales and I fill up my backpack, head to the post office to drop them off during my lunch break. And I don't mind it, it's good exercise, but lately, especially during the summer, it's about 120 degrees. So during those times, I don't love it. No, that's it.
Are you a YouTuber?
No.
No?
Thank you. All right. A couple miles later and all the packages are dropped off. It's not 121 degrees, but it's still very hot. All right, and I'm gonna wrap up the video here. So 7 weeks ago, that's when I filmed that part of the video. And originally I had intended to finish the video, and that was supposed to be part of last episode. Basically in that little segment where I wrapped up the video, I talked about how I was kind of unsure about the items that I had purchased that last week, or what you saw in last episode. I think in total I had spent about $300, so that brought our net total from $1,300 down to $1,000.
Bruh.
So it seemed like I had spent a lot of money on product, but I wasn't sure that all of it would sell and that it would get us to that next level. But it did. All right, and welcome back to another segment of what sold in the last 7 weeks. And in today's segment, we're gonna be taking a look at anything that sold over the value of $40. And just a reminder for our viewers, this is a net $40, excluding all costs, shipping, and fees. So without further ado, let's jump into our first item. And the first item on our list today was this VHS DVD combo set. Let me tell you folks, if you're not selling these, you might want to reconsider. We've also sold these 3 Nintendo 64 packages that we grabbed off OfferUp. Hey, are you a fan of vintage Singer sewing machines? Well, apparently there are others on eBay that are as well, so we sold this one, and another one. Next up, we sold a pair of vintage Miller High Life mirrors for a nice profit. Do you remember this blue anvil case from last episode? Well, we sold that as well. An item often found at estate sales was this camcorder, and you guessed it, it's sold. This vintage San Francisco 49ers t-shirt, Seahawks trash can, and paintball gun, all sold. And finally, the moment you've been waiting for, the best sale for the last 2 months. Speaking of vintage, I hope you like these vintage Ralph Lauren sheets, sourced from a local estate sale and sold for over $300 net profit between the 2 sales. And that concludes this episode of What Sold for Over $40 Net Profit. Back to the video.
Bruh.
In case the title wasn't obvious, it's been about 3 or 4 weeks since that last segment. Life's been busy. The reason I did that run, the reason why I came down here to this river is to talk about the analogy of revenue streams. I'm kidding, I'm not that corny, but I did want to talk about analogy, and that's why we're going to talk about slingshots. Oh yeah, I forgot that I filmed this part. So the reason that I was going to bring this up is because of what I alluded to earlier, where I had spent $300 on product that weekend that I wasn't entirely confident in, and I felt like I had taken a step backwards, or as if I had kind of pulled things backwards. Have you ever noticed how in almost every professional sport there's this moment where the athlete is pulling backwards or taking a step backwards in order to unleash this massive forward motion? If there's anything like what that moment felt like, where I had put a bunch of money into inventory that I was selling for the first time, or I guess just this whole process, it would be that moment. That moment is risk. And I'm sure I could drag out this analogy, but what I wanted to say was that in this series, The Flip, these moments where I'm investing money without 100% knowing that it's gonna give me a return, it's a scary moment, but the question is, did it work out? So I guess what I'm trying to say is that for you, the viewer, if you're in a moment where life has kind of pulled you backwards, like you feel like you're not moving forwards, hang on. It might just lead you forward. A few weeks ago when I was going to garage sales, I ended up going to one that actually had an item I knew quite a bit about. Okay, so one of my hobbies is airsoft. I've talked about it before, and in this process, I've actually sold a couple other airsoft guns. But I went to a garage sale and I found an airsoft gun that I found an airsoft gun I was pumped about. But I needed to see if this airsoft gun worked, and it just so happened that that same weekend there was an airsoft event. So all of that footage didn't matter because ultimately the airsoft gun didn't work. I couldn't figure out why it wasn't working. So I had to go take it to my friend Ben, who works on airsoft guns. So we're here at VIP Airsoft. We're gonna drop it off to my buddy Ben, have him work on it, make it look awesome, and
Hey, sexy man.
that's it. I mean, at this point, you're now caught up to present day. So with that, if you're hanging in here still watching this part of the video, it means that you truly care about where we're at. So let me not delay it any further and let me tell you the numbers. A few weeks ago, I woke up to an email I wasn't expecting, and it turns out that I've been awarded an eBay top seller. To be honest, I've seen people get excited about this. I don't really know much about what it means. I think it just essentially means I have a really good reputation on eBay and that it applies some extra discounts to my fees, but I mean, that's a win. We gotta be excited about that. So speaking of eBay top sellers, the last time we checked to see how many reviews I had gathered on the store, it was mentioning that through this process, I've accumulated 35-star reviews for the store so far. Everything's great. Right, so last time we spoke about eBay reviews, that's how many 5-star reviews I had. We are now up to 72 5-star reviews. Nice. All right, enough patting myself on the back about that. Let's get down to the numbers. So to date, I've actually sold 232 items since the beginning of this project. That brings our total sales in terms of revenue out to over $11,000. Of course, we've spent just under $2,000 on both PayPal and eBay fees. We've spent an additional $1,750 on shipping. We spent just over $550 on supplies for the shop. And finally, I've reinvested just over $3,750 back into inventory for us to sell. You're gonna have to believe me here, but with that being said, if you're doing the math, that brings our net revenue out to $3,575. You might be thinking, wait a second, didn't we leave last episode at just over like $1,000 or $1,300? Yes. So in the last 6 to 7 weeks, I have shot that number up from $1,300 all the way up to $3,750. And that brings us a third of the way to our $10,000 net profit goal. And the last thing that I wanted to review was a goal that I set for myself in the last episode or the episode prior. So for the months of August and September, we found that I had sold an average of 1.2 items per day for a net profit of just over $20 a day, which was pretty good. But the goal was to double that during the months of October and November, and now that it's December, we can finally see how we landed. So in the months of November and December, I ended up selling just under 2 items a day on average with a net profit of around $42 per day. Actually, correction, it was a net profit of around $46 per day. So we did hit that goal. I'm really pleased with that. But going into the next 2 months, I don't expect that momentum to continue, and here's why. So with my last role, I was working Sunday through Thursday, which meant that I could go to estate sales and garage sales on Friday and Saturday to find items to resell. Now I'm working a normal Monday through Friday job, so that means that I can no longer go to estate sales on Friday or garage sales on Friday, which was my main day for finding products. That means moving forward, we're gonna have to find some other creative ways to make money. So we might shift away from reselling and the whole eBay thing to trying out some different things. So I guess we'll find out. I'll see you in the next episode.